Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Skil router table and fixed base router kit combo. Now, if you're like me and you've been looking for a router table for quite some time, this might be a good option for you. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the box, I'm going to build it, I'm going to talk about some features and things that I really liked and what drew my attention to this. We're going to talk about where I got it and the price, and we're going to show you some demonstrations and show you what you can do with this.
Now, I was able to get this router table combo for about $159 on Amazon. That means it comes with both the router and the bench top. Now, first things first, when I was pulling all this stuff out of the box, I was very pleased with how everything was packaged. Everything was packaged very well. Everything was safe and protected, very compact, and it took me a while to pull it out of the package, but we got it out.
So, looking at the router itself, router seems pretty basic. It does have some variable speed controls, which is nice. 1 through 6. Now let's talk about the tabletop itself. This is what really sold me on this whole idea. I love this quick release latch. And the whole idea behind this is how your router is going to slide in and out of the router table itself. Another feature that I love about this is this outlet. You can connect this to any power source. It's got an on and off switch. It's big, easy to manipulate. And then you have two plug-ins back here in the back, so you can run your router and maybe something else, depending on what you're using. So I really like that because it's going to be very easy to use, very safe in the sense that I can just turn this on and off as needed. It's nice in the sense that it's going to last a long time. You can tell right here that you got a gauge for your fence, and these tracks right here will just allow your fence to attach really easy. There's the T track on top where you can send the miter gauge through, and that is metal on metal, so it's going to work really well. And this little pin right here, right next to the router hole, is really nice, and this is one of the other features that I really liked about this. This allows you to do freehand routering, which is something that I want to do, especially when you have templates or something you're trying to cut out and you want to just smoothen out the edges. Now let's move on to the fence. The fence is very unique in the sense that it already has T-tracks, so if you need to set up stopping blocks, or if you want to throw one of these feather boards into the T-track itself, you can, which is nice. It's got this interesting dust collector system with a decent connector at the back so that you can connect it to any shop vac for easy dust collection. Something that gets talked a lot about is these feather boards. They come in handy if you want to keep your project under control, and especially if you're working with little items and you just don't have a good way to grasp them and send them through the router. So these feather boards are really nice and they come in handy. It also comes with a decent miter gauge. The top part's plastic, kind of basic, but the bottom part is definitely metal for the T-track. Now let's talk about the legs. So the legs, something that really drew my eye and my attention was the legs itself. These open up and they act as storage. So you can store router bits with this. You can store any of the other accessories that it comes with. So overall, very excited about the leg storage because I'm not a very organized person. It'll be nice having the router bits and everything really close to home with the router itself.
Now we're on to the assembly portion. For the assembly, we're going to start with the legs. The legs are very simple. There's 3 screws on each side, and all you have to do is loosen them. Once they're loosened, you can slide the legs on and then tighten them down. Now that we got the legs on, we're going to move on to the router. For the router, we're going to take off the plastic base that's clear first, and then we're going to attach the black metal base. Now I'll share with you a quick tip that I learned about using this router. There are 3 holes on that metal plate that have a little cross on them. Those are the holes you're going to be using to attach the router itself to the metal plate. Skil made it very easy to use their own products, and I like that. Something else that I learned while using this router is after a couple hours, those screws will walk and the router will become loose and separated from the plate. So I had to go back in and use blue 242 Loctite on those screws so that they wouldn't separate from the plate. After I did this, the router was secured and the screws did not walk out on me. Once the metal plate is attached to the router itself, it's super simple to attach to the table. All you have to do is slide it into place and it will lock. Now I'm showing you this with the table upside down and right side up just to show you how easy it is and that it locks in place, which is the key part. Another nice thing about this router table is it's very difficult to mess this up. There's only really one way that you can attach the base plate to the table itself, and as long as you did everything correctly with the base plate, you'll be able to still change the height of the router table with no issue. And all that's left is you have to attach the screws from the table to the base plate just to secure the base plate. The fence was also very easy to install and very self-explanatory. The nice thing about this fence that I figured out later on is that it can open up and close depending on what you're cutting, so you can get more or less suction for your dust collection. And the last thing you can do is add the storage shelves and start storing stuff. And that's it. It's a very simple table to set up. Oh, and I forgot to mention that it comes with 3 different throat plate sizes. So it doesn't matter if you're using a big, small, or medium-sized bit, you're going to have it covered. So now let's look at this table in action and see how it performs. As you can see here, I'm setting it up, I'm adding the bit, the throat plate, and then I'm changing the height of the bit. And this is very simple to do. Just make sure that once you've got the correct height, that you go back to the router and you lock it in place. Otherwise, it can move and shift during your cuts. After the router bit's set up, I'm going to start working on the fence. I'm going to start with the featherboard. The featherboard's going to help me control the piece as I'm sliding it through the router. It's just going to give me some even top pressure. And then I'm going to move and adjust the fence so that the ball bearing on the bit is even with the piece. So if you're interested in making charcuterie boards with some wild handle designs or some wine caddy holders that are unique and different, and you have templates, this is the table for you. The biggest and important part about this process is you have good bits. So that means don't spend a lot of money on the table itself, but spend the money on bits, because that's the stuff that you're going to use up, you're going to use and abuse. The table itself will last you a long time as is. So here I'll show you an example of me doing some tracing with the router table. I'm going to be using a flush trim bit, and this is really why I wanted the table router itself, so I could do some tracing with some templates, get some cool designs and different looks, because it's very difficult to get a smooth curved edge with the jigsaw. It's a lot easier with the router table itself. With that free pin there, it gives me some support, and I can just run it through the router nice and slow. This is oak, so it's a little bit tougher wood, and I'm running on a lower speed so I don't chip it too much. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope that we helped you see how versatile it is to have a router table in your shop. This router table was very inexpensive and perfect for any small shop. We included the link for this router table in the description below, and while you're at it, we would appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button to help this channel grow little by little. Thank you very much.